Hi and welcome to another video. This time I'll be talking about my main pet peeves. Similar to my cinema experience video, this one will be about things outside of that. So let's get into this. One pet peeve that really gets me frustrated is customer manners, in particular at fast food restaurants. Whenever someone has ordered a meal and their number is called out for them to come and collect it, they never say a quick thank you to the person serving it to them. They just grab it and walk off. I feel it's a total lack of respect, and it's not just restricted to the younger age group. I have seen this take place in McDonald's, but for me, saying thank you comes automatically and I don't have to think about it. We also seem to have a contradiction in New Zealand when it comes to some other industries in which the opposite happens. For example, before a member of the public gets off a bus, they will say, "Thanks, driver." Any role a person has should expect basic human courtesy. Another pet peeve of mine that literally drives me up the wall is when it comes to queues or lines when paying a bill or buying a product. The number of people in the queue ahead of me can be annoying, but what really gets me up in arms about it is the disorganisation. For example, when I went to grab a pie and something sweet at the bakery, the line of people was all over the place. It looked more like a fucking zigzag, not a straight line. But having some individuals off to one side or all over the show, it was very hard to tell if a person was waiting for someone else or not, or being served. Did they need to be in the queue? It can cause you to perhaps remain in the queue longer than is necessary. Public transport is another pet peeve of mine, but centres on trains between Wellington and Upper Hutt that I use. Our buses from when I have used them have tended not to have any problems. However, using the train is a different story and can leave you angry and shaking your head. The management of the train system tends to have the Kiwi attitude of "she'll be right," which is not good to have when running vital services and there are disruptions. People such as myself who don't have a car rely on the train to get to work. One time management was even quoted as saying in a news article that as long as we get you from A to B, which basically tells you that they don't give a shit if you're late. Most likely they have a car and don't use public transport. Common delays included mechanical or signal faults, the tracks being either too hot or too cold, and trains either not running or being behind schedule. There are even emergency service occurrences on the line, which they are reluctant to tell people what they are. I don't expect them to go into every single detail, but surely you can say, the train service is cancelled due to a death or injury. Not telling us means it could be anything and it isn't professional. What hasn't helped our train network is that we tend to be short-sighted and not long-term focused as a nation. We don't want to spend the money up front, which means we have to pay even more in the future when it gets close to crumbling around us. Work has been ongoing to get the train service up to speed, but wouldn't have to be if we had invested more into it as we went along. I feel embarrassed as a Kiwi as what impression does it give tourists who come here? I get envious of countries such as Japan who are devastated if their trains are even a few minutes late. I wish we had that kind of attitude here. Now, my next pet peeve could possibly raise some eyebrows, but I'm hoping deep down people can get where I'm coming from. I do get frustrated when I go into a shop to buy something and the person at the other end of the counter has limited English, or if I'm talking to them on the phone. I'm not getting at one particular ethnic group or race. For example, I go to order a takeaway and the person who is serving me is not understanding my order, or I can't make them out clearly. The person doesn't have English as their first language. This has caused items of food I have asked for to be incorrect. It's not good for business if a person receives the wrong order. I don't think it's too much to ask for that a person that is engaging with clients that are predominantly English speaking can be understood. However, it is often viewed as racist, and we are quick to jump on that word. Are we saying that both people not having clear communication is acceptable? Drivers on the road is another pet peeve, but I suspect that it's for a lot of others as well. Although I don't drive, I have been a passenger in a vehicle, and I'm shocked at some of the behaviour from drivers on our roads. For example, drivers that don't indicate if they are going left or right, and you're meant to read their minds. Or cars that shoot out of side streets to get to the other side, not caring if you're coming along and could smash into them. Some New Zealand drivers are quite shit, and our driving system is pretty lax compared to the more gold-plated one in England. Well, thank you for listening to my rants in this short video, and have a great day.